Good evening, I'm Meryl Friend. Welcome to News Geelong on this very wintry Friday the 16th of July. This is my first night sitting in for Graham Rawlins, so be kind. It's a hard act to follow, but I'll do my best. Strategic planning in business is a must. This week, the Bowen Health Strategic Plan was launched with a vision to be Australia's leading regional health service, building a healthier community with values of respect, compassion, commitment, accountability and innovation at the fore. And of course, all the latest news in Geelong sport with Nathan Currie, and we hear from the Geelong Cats senior coach, Mark Bomber Thompson, about the Cats game in Adelaide in just over 2 hours. And a look at the weekend weather forecast and into the start of the working week with Larni Salathiel. But first, the Armstrong Creek development is well underway. The urban growth area in Geelong is being developed into a sustainable community. That sets the new benchmarks in urban development, as Andria Cozza discusses with Councillor Michael Crutchfield.
News Geelong spoke to Michael Crutchfield about the recent developments at Armstrong Creek and the exciting opportunities available for residents of Geelong and other regions. Michael, what announcements have you made about public infrastructure, in particular in Warm Ponds?
Yeah, we've made a number since May, and it's important that previous state governments of each colour haven't necessarily planned for public infrastructure along with the growth of new suburbs. So here, that's not occurring. We've made announcements over a extremely large 2,500 car park railway station in Warm Ponds, which will eventually be Geelong's largest. And we're going through that process about doing an overlay to purchase that land. We've made announcements over a major arterial road, an 80k continuation of the ring road to Surf Coast Highway, and we've committed $77 million to that. We've made announcements over a major southern hospital for Armstrong Creek. Clearly, if we're going to have 50,000 people, it's like Ballarat, it should have a major hospital, and that's what we're planning for right now before we reach those population targets. And so that will be somewhere over in the middle of Armstrong Creek, and we're going through that process about identifying land for that. We've also announced a community health centre for this particular precinct. Money for that, some $5 million for that community health centre, and that will be, as you can see from the concept plans in here, there's a location already identified for that. So we are trying to be ahead of the game in terms of making sure infrastructure is there as the residential growth occurs.
Andria Cozza at Armstrong Creek for News Geelong.
Thank you, Andrea. Developments are underway in many different Geelong locations. The McCullough Centre had a special tree planting event this week. The pomegranate tree was planted as part of a new rehabilitation garden for the residents at the McCullough Centre. Eliza Houghton went along to find out more and spoke with the CEO of the St John of God Pathology and others.
We're here at the McCullough Centre in North Geelong, where there is a ceremonial planting of the pomegranate tree as a part of the redevelopment of the McCullough Centre Rehabilitation Gardens.
The state government has invested $120 million on this site for the redevelopment of the buildings. We've had to remove a series of buildings, and in the removal of the buildings we've ended up with a large area that we've been able to turn into a garden to integrate the entire site. This garden will provide a number of amenities for the community of Geelong. It is planned in such a way so that our rehabilitation patients will be able to incorporate their rehabilitation programs as indoors and outdoors. So there are mobility sections, there are reflective sections, which is the part that we're in this morning with St John of God. Behind me is also a small playground, so that we will ensure that in fact this environment provides not only aspects for children to play happily in, but indeed for their grandparents or their mothers and fathers that they're visiting, that there will be mobility areas so they'll be able to move freely around this environment.
Well, I mean, the vision of St John of God Healthcare is to participate in partnership with the community and be able to provide for the whole of life, for healthcare throughout the whole of life. And with aged cares and rehabilitation facilities, we have that opportunity to do that. And so the Reflection Garden is a way of us expressing our wish to see the quality of life for people and patients improve. And we're very pleased that we've been able to help make this happen.
Now, Philippa, you're also known as the Laughing Lady. Why are you down here at the McKellar Centre today?
I was asked to come along as a community representative and happily did so from day one. And to see the development of the site from what we knew as just a very ordinary tired facility turn into the state of the art that in future will be a benchmark for all other rehabilitation centres, I'm sure, is seriously fantastic.
Eliza Houghton down here at the McKellar Centre Reflection Gardens for News Geelong.
Thank you, Eliza. Dozens of children from refugee backgrounds have been given the opportunity to take part in the sport of soccer. Geelong soccer clubs have teamed up to fund the community project. The Geelong Regional Football Committee agreed to pledge $5,000 for kits, balls and other equipment. There are currently 43 youngsters, mostly from the Karen ethnic group, enjoying the program.
Firstly, I'd like to thank Corio Bay. This project wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for the people at Corio Bay Cricket and Sports Club and the successful integration of many people from new and emerging communities into the sporting scene in Geelong, particularly as we know it, football. A lot of people call it soccer, but it is football. And we welcome the introduction of our new junior squads that we have out here today, and this Sunday will be their first match. This project has been in the process for at least 6 months to get where it is today with the juniors in particular. I would like to firstly thank Football Federation Victoria. I would like to thank John Aaron, MP for Lara. John's support for this project and my work in the community has been outstanding from day one. I can't thank him enough. Thanks, John.
We are all very passionate about soccer, and can I just say that in the last 3 weeks I have had very little sleep because of the World Cup. I want to congratulate all of you for being involved in this wonderful event on Sunday. John mentioned before about out of Africa into soccer. We were very proud as a state government to support that funding, and of course I think we've got further good news coming our way, Dennis, in relation to expanding that program. We found that that program was very successful, and of course with the lobbying of Dennis, who was like a pit bull actually. I may as well say it here and now. There's, I think, $268,000 through Vic Health that will be funding for that same sort of similar program, which involves more of the community. So congratulations to all guys.
This is News Geelong here on Channel 31 Analogue and Channel 44 Digital as we go to a break and return with more news after this.